What is your profession?
So here we have 1,000 points of Black Templars. Starting at the back here, we have the Emperor's Champion, and we also have Chaplain Lazarus. Chaplain Lazarus is armed with his customary bolt pistol and Crazius Arcanum. Down here we have 1, 2, 3 and 4 Crusader squads. We've got 1 Crusader squad armed with plasma gun and lightning claw sergeant and a power sword, and then we have another Crusader squad with plasma gun, melter gun, combi melter and 2 power swords. Got the 3rd Crusader squad has flamer, combi flamer, sergeant, or should I say sword brother, has a power sword, and one of the initiates has a power axe. And finally we have our final Crusader squad, which has melter gun, combi plasma, that sword brother has a power sword, and also that initiate has a power sword. Each squad has got 5 neophytes and 5 initiates in it. And finally, at the front of the force, we have the sword brethren, which are 5 terminators. The sergeant has a stormbolter and power sword. This terminator has an assault cannon and chain fist. This one also has assault Stormbolter and Chain Fist, and we're remembering who's got Chain Fist because he's got the special shoulder pad there. Just had a few points left over, so we had to upgrade a couple of Power Fist to Chain Fist basically, and then we've got 2 basic Sword Brothers here with Stormbolter and Power Fist. So 1,000 points of Black Templars. Let's see what they're facing off against today. So here we have 1,000 points of New Blood Angels. They've got the new codex in hand and they're looking forward to using it. So starting on the left over here, we have an elite detachment, 3 squads of Death Company, 5 men in each one, jump packs in every single one. This one over here has 2 Thunder Hammers, and the other 2 have 2 power swords in. The rest of the guys are armed with bolt pistol and chainsword. This detachment is led by Mephiston, Lord of Death, with his usual loadout. Second detachment in this army is the Fast Attack Detachment, and they have 3 squads of Assault Marines in the detachment. Each squad has a melter gun, and the sergeant has a power sword. The rest of the guys are armed with bolt pistol and chainsword. And this chap over here also has the combat shield. Was it Storm Shield actually? Storm Shield, sorry. No point in taking the combat shield when the Storm Shield is so much better. This detachment is led by a Furioso Librarian Dreadnought, and it has the Halberd, the Dreadnought Power Fist, and that is a Stormbolt for today, not a melter gun. And finally, we have 1 Rhino with a single Stormbolter. So there we go, lots of bodies on the ground. Both armies have gone for a more infantry feel. We want to have a nice power armour off today, bit of a 30k feel, so let's see the battle. So here we have the Warlords and Psychers for the armies. So as usual, the Black Templars will be led by Chaplain Lazarus. He has his Warlord trait, the Rites of Battle. It's the one that gives everyone around him fearless, and then his relic is the Crusader Helm to make all of his aura buffs an extra 3 inches. So everyone around him within 9 inches will be re-rolling hits in combat and will be fearless. Mephiston is the Warlord for the Blood Angels today. His Warlord trait is the Speed of the Primarchs, the one he comes with. His psychic powers for today are Wings of Sanguinius, Quickening and Blood Boil. And the Furioso Dreadnought Librarian is, their psychic powers are it is Wings and Blood Boil. And are you going for the relic that gives you the 5+ get your command points back? Yes, I think that's it's called the Wing of Sanguinius something, isn't it? But we'll look it up anyway. It's the relic that gives him the 5+ to get his spent command points back. So that's Warlord traits, psychic powers, and relics. So here we have the field of battle after deployment. The Templars just deployed in what we've nicknamed the sort of Templar phalanx, just all 4 squads in this big blob, all in range of the fearless bubble from Chaplain Lazarus. The mission today is secure and control, or aka capture the flag. Both sides have 1 objective, and you've got to try and steal your opponent's objective whilst holding on to yours. So mine is underneath this Crusader squad here. So moving round, we have the Blood Angels deployment. we have Mephiston and an Assault Marine squad on the right hand flank, looking to maybe sneak round and chopping up some Crusaders. And then we have the Rhino, and that has 2 Assault Marine squads in there, and we also have the Librarian Dreadnought. The rest of the Black Angels, the Blood Angels force, these 3 squads of Death Company, are in the sky, and the Terminators are in the sky for the Black Templars. So, interesting battle. Both sides going to be running at each other, going to be chopping each other to pieces. Let's see what happens. Now, the Blood Angels did manage to deploy first, so they will be getting +1 to the roll. So the Blood Angels got excited, rolled their dice before the camera was rolling. They have got a 4. That makes a 5, so the Black Templars need to get a 5 or a 6. They get a 4 as well, but that means the Blood Angels should be going first, but the Black Templars will get 1 chance to seize the initiative. Let's see if they can do it. We're looking for that Reaper. It's gone off the table. We're looking for that Reaper. Nope, it's a 5, so we'll be back at the end of Blood Angels turn 1. So we've not finished Blood Angels turn, but we just thought we'd record this as they've had a pretty blistering start. This Librarian Dreadnought was able to boost his way over and then charge thanks to Wings of Sanguinius. On the way, he did a casual little blood boil on the Emperor's Champion, which has changed significantly. We thought it was just the usual roll 3 dice and get a couple of mortal wounds kind of thing, but it's changed significantly, and it has managed to do 3 mortal wounds to the Emperor's Champion. So that is unfortunate. Over here, the Death Company dropped in and have boosted over. They've had to use a command point, but they did manage to get into combat with this Crusader squad. And the Black Templars have burnt a command point to stop Mephiston from getting Wings of Sanguinius off earlier in the phase. So, a couple of combats. We'll be back at the end of the Blood Angels combat phase. Interesting turn. Death Company came in here and cut down 5 Crusaders. Really noticed the difference on the wounding on 3s. Straight up, just want to say, that makes these units really hit hard on the charge. In return, the power swords of the Crusaders fired up and were able to cut 2 down, but the regular combat knife attacks were unable to do any damage. So, 5 Crusaders for 2 Death Company, not a bad trade for the Blood Angels over there. And then over here, the Furioso was able to kill 3 Neophytes, and in return the Crusaders were unable to do any damage, unfortunately. So, pretty blistering turn by the Blood Angels. Let's see how the Crusaders can respond. So, a very interesting Black Templars turn there. This squad fell back, giving opportunity for their fellow brothers to charge in. We were able to kill 1 of the Death Company in shooting, and then the rest were actually brought down by neophyte combat blades. The power weapon's not doing anything. However, the Blood Angels did spend 2 command points to interrupt over here, and that meant they cut down both chainsword initiates. So we were sort of saying how the chainsword initiates were cut down, and it made the neophytes go into some sort of crusader rage, seeing their masters cut down. Over here, this squad also fell back, giving room for the Crusader squad and the Emperor's Champion to go in against the Librarian Dreadnought. All the firepower of that Crusader squad did no damage whatsoever. Really, just loads of terrible rolls to wound. That meant the Emperor's Champion had to go in against the Librarian Dreadnought. Now, the Librarian Dreadnought is a character, and that meant the Emperor's Champion went into beast mode, re-rolling hits, extra attack, re-rolling wounds. He was able to put 3 unsaved wounds on the Librarian Dreadnought. That was a 6 wounds in total, 6 damage. Used a command point and got an extra 2 damage. Cut the Dreadnought down in single combat with the Emperor's Champion. That is the first character which he has put to the Black Sword. So we'll be back at the end of Blood Angels turn 2. Let's see what the Sons of Sanguinius can do. Really disappointing turn for the Blood Angels there. Sanguinius has abandoned his sons on the dice rolls. Over here, we should say the Death Company dropped in. They needed a 9-inch charge. They got an 8, of course, just 1 inch off. Over here, these guys needed a good advance. They got a 1, so they didn't advance as far as they could have done. Mephiston failed to get quickening off, and then Wings of Sanguinius was denied by the Black Templars using deny the deny the witch stratagem. So, you know, just not getting what they wanted. And then over here, these two 10-man squads charged in against, I think it was like a 6 or 7-man Crusader squad. Lost one on the Overwatch, and then did alright. They managed to cut down 3 initiates initially. Then they counter-attacked and cut down the majority of this squad. And this squad fought back and was only able to kill a single neophyte. Both sergeants, both with power swords and chainswords, rolled all ones to hit. That is 6 ones. Absolutely just insanely bad dice rolls. The regular Marines tried to make up for it, but their battle leaders really let drop the ball on that one. So Blood Angels are in a tight spot. They still have 5 more Death Company to bring in, and they still have plenty of forces massed on this side, but this will be a chance for the Black Templars to try and break out. Let's see what they can do in Black Templar. So a brutal Black Templar turn there. They counter-attack strong. Over here, with a bit of a cheeky flamer, crack grenade, then a charge, we were able to reduce this Death Company squad down to just 1 man with a power sword. In return, he was able to lop the head off a neophyte. Over here, we were able to kill this squad down to just 1 man. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to do any damage back to us. Sliding on over to here. There we go. Sliding over to here, we were able to cut down these squads just with a combination of sort of bolt pistol shooting and charges, and we were able to bring them down to just this 1 sergeant over here. So it's looking dire for the Blood Angels. They've got Mephiston, this sergeant, this guy, and the Rhino, and 5 more Death Company in reserve. So, let's see what the Blood Angels can do. The Sons of Sanguinius, can they achieve redemption in their turn? Brutal Blood Angels turn. Sanguinius smile down upon them. Basically, when Mephiston starts getting involved, things start going gnarly for the Black Templars. Over here, the Death Company dropped in and then charged, and were able to just hack down that squad to 1 man, and then this guy was able to do the final wound. This one here, who was left over from the Assault Marine squad. Over here, Mephiston came in, killed a few from this squad, and was able to bring down the Emperor's Champion before he had a chance to strike. You may be wondering, how did Mephiston do such an incredible feat? Well, he was around here, he moved, then Wings of Sanguinius, and then with a good charge roll, because Wings of Sanguinius, also he had Quickening, which gave him an extra movement distance as well. And because he's Wing of Sanguinius, he counts as the fly keyword, so he can jump over units, so he was able to jump round and get in. So yeah, really powerful combination. Wings of Sanguinius plus Quickening plus Mephiston equals a very deadly combo. So how will the Black Templars respond in turn 3? They have their Terminators, they're going to have to bring them in now, they've been holding them off. Let's see what the Sword Brethren can do. So we're just filming at the beginning of Black Templar's turn, just to give you an idea of what the stakes are. So this squad has fallen back, formed a defensive perimeter, this Sword Brother on the objective. They won't be able to fight, but they are forming a human shield against Mephiston. Over here, this squad is Crusader squad, trying to earn some honour for the chapter, has come around the flank, is going to try and engage those Death Company and that lone Assault Marine. And finally, the Terminators have dropped in here, the Sword Brethren. They're going to try and do everything they can to whittle down these Death Company and this Assault Marine. We did consider dropping them on the enemy objective, but we thought tactically it's best to defend our own, put lots of bodies on the objective, and that will be every man he has to then kill to get to my objective, because none of his stuff is objective secured. So, let's see what happens. The Black Templars have formed a thin black line. Can they hold it against the attacking Blood Angel forces? So a nice sort of Black Templar turn there. Between lots of Storm Bolters and Assault Cannons, we were able to butcher the Death Company over here down to 1 guy, and he was then absolutely torn limb from limb. The 2 chained fists all hit, all wound. He didn't make any 6-ups. It was he's just a little blob of blood on the ground now. This guy did live though. The Neophyte and the Sword Brother were unable to bring him down, and the others weren't able to attack. And they've consolidated now, but they weren't able to attack at the time. So it's Mephiston, an Assault Marine, and a Rhino left for the Sons of Sanguinius. Let's see what they can do in Blood Angel turn 4. So an epic Blood Angels turn. They were able to, Mephiston just boosted across over to here, Plasma Pistol, the Terminator doing a wound, came in, chopped apart 3 Terminators in total. They were able to activate their Chain Fist. Me and Johnny were both saying there's a big difference between a Chain Fist and a Power Fist. We can now see the 10-point difference because they just slammed 2 wounds straight into Mephiston. And then over here, the endless combat continued. These 3 were unable to hurt him, he was unable to hurt them. So, oh, sorry, I should say, Johnny reminded me he did actually shoot a neophyte in the face and kill him. So he was able to kill a neophyte. They were unable to do any damage to each other in combat. So it's a close game. Let's see if the Black Templars can bring down Mephiston, Lord of Death, in their turn 4. So Black Templar turn. We were able to do another wound to Mephiston. We fell back. We could have stayed in combat, but he is still on 7 attacks. We do not want to give him the opportunity to kill units in our turn. So we just did the wound to him, brought forces over here. This guy over here, he saved a bolt pistol to the face, and then he made a 6-up save against a power sword. Wasn't able to do any damage back, but he is clinging on. You know, he must have taken a combined, you know, maybe 12 power sword attacks at this point, and he's still living. Absolutely a hero of Sanguinius. But it comes down to Blood Angels turn 5 now. This is the Wonder unit. It basically comes down to how much damage can Mephiston, Lord of Death, do. He has 2 wounds left, but he has a lot of fight left in him. Let's see what happens in Blood Angels turn 5. What an absolutely epic turn there. Starting off with the simple stuff, these guys continue to do no more damage to each other. Another 3 attacks. So far this guy survived 15 power sword attacks. I mean, a lot of it's been me failing to wound, but even when I have wounded, he's just been making those 6s. In return, he didn't do any damage to me. Over here, Johnny tried a couple of cheeky Stormbolter shots from the Rhino, but was unable to kill that guy. And then over here, Mephiston, he got hit by the plasma gun on Overwatch, but was able to survive one of the wounds. We just took 1 wound. Oh no, he didn't take any wounds from the plasma gun on Overwatch, sorry. He then got hit by the melter gun, wounded by the melter gun. He had to make a 6-up save, and of course, he made the 6-up save. He came in and did very little damage. Wasn't able to kill any from this squad, or maybe he killed 1 neophyte. It wasn't a huge amount. And he was only able to do 1 wound on the chaplain as well. In return, he made a lot of saves, and he only took 1 wound in the end. What? Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot. Blood Boil did kill one of these Terminators. He needed to, he was a little bit unlucky, but he did still manage to get 1 mortal wound through on that unit. Blood Boil, we thought it was just affecting 1 model, it actually affects the unit. Very powerful spell. So, Black Templar turn 5, that's what we're going into. Mephiston's on 1 wound, that's who we need to kill. Let's see if the Black Templars can do it in their turn 5. End of Black Templars turn 5, and what an absolute nail-biter. Starting off over here, these guys were unable to do any damage to each other. That Assault Marine has survived about 18 power sword attacks and a load of bolt pistol attacks as well. What an absolute hero. Over here, Mephiston was on 1 wound, if you remember. The Terminator charged in against him from behind. He got 2 misses with his first 2 rolls with his power fist, chain fist. But thanks to the chaplain, was able to re-roll them. He got 2 hits. He then got 2 wounds. Thanks to being AP -4, makes a huge difference. Mephiston was only able to make 1 save. He got a 6 and a 5. If it had been a power fist, he would have made both saves. But it wasn't a power fist. Then, because the chain fist is a flat 2 damage, Mephiston had to make 2 5-up saves. He made 1 of them, but the other one was a 4, and the Terminator comes in from behind and rams that chain fist through his back. It bursts through his chest, and he cuts Mephiston in half. That's exactly what Mephiston had done to the Emperor's Champion. It is poetic justice that the Sword Brethren did it to Mephiston. So Mephiston has died. That's the end of Black Templar turn 5. We're just calling it there because the Rhino was the only thing that was left over there, but he couldn't take my objective off me. I had First Blood, I had Warlord, so absolutely epic game. We've both shaken on it. We both say that it was, you know, a couple of really close turns. We thought after the first turn for the Blood Angels, it was going to be bad for the Black Templars. Then the Black Templars were just able to fight off wave after wave of Blood Angels dropping in. We haven't actually got out of our own deployment zone. The Blood Angels have been really hyper aggressive, and it almost paid off for them. We'll go through it in a bit more detail, turn by turn, in the after action report, but an absolutely amazing debut of the new Blood Angels on the channel. They've done very, very well for themselves. New list, going back to traditional units with Death Company and Assault Marines, but we'll go into that in more detail in the after action battle report. So I hope you guys have really enjoyed this absolute nail biter report. Me and Johnny were on the edges of our seat with every dice roll in those last couple of turns. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.